Every day, harmful substances contaminate our air and our water and pose dangerous risks to our natural resources. Motor vehicles, factories, refineries, and power plants release millions of tons of pollutants into the air each year. Even natural events such as wildfires, volcanic eruptions, and dust storms can add dangerous substances to the atmosphere, increasing the ever-growing threat to our environment. Some of these pollutants react with sunlight to create ground-level or tropospheric ozone, a key ingredient in smog. Smog is a complex mixture of substances that can appear as a brownish yellow or gray cloud that hovers over some cities. But smog's harmful components can travel many kilometers from their source, spreading from cities to rural or suburban areas. The average person breathes over 11,000 liters of air each day. When exposed to high enough levels of air pollutants, breathing may become difficult because of an irritated throat or damaged lungs. Long-term exposure to poor air quality can cause cancer and extensive damage to the immune, neurological, reproductive, and respiratory systems. Fortunately, the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, is encouraging programs that cut emissions from vehicles and industrial facilities. The EPA also has set air quality standards to regulate how much of a pollutant is allowed in the air anywhere in the United States. Like the air we breathe, water also supports life. And like air, our water supply is increasingly suffering from the effects of pollution. Lawn chemicals, soap, even some skin lotions contain chemicals that can't be broken down by the environment, so they end up contributing to our water pollution problem. But much of the waste in our water systems comes from industrial dumping. Toxins accumulate in the tissues of marine animals and plants, causing irreparable harm. The St. Lawrence Seaway, which connects the Atlantic Ocean with the Great Lakes, extends about 724 kilometers between Montreal and Lake Erie. A major commercial waterway, the St. Lawrence has been polluted from industrial toxins. For many years, beluga whales have made their home here, but in recent years, their populations have been dwindling, decreasing from 5,000 to 650. Scientists think that cancer-causing chemicals such as DDT have drained into the St. Lawrence River. Although DDT is no longer produced and is banned in most countries, it remains in the environment for years. Scientists see a link between these toxins and the decrease in the number of beluga whales in these waters. How did the toxins get into the St. Lawrence? Scientist Pierre Belland explains.
When a farmer puts DDT on a field, it eventually ends up in soil particles. Then it's taken up by rain, and it ends up in streams, flows into major rivers, and finally ends up in a big lake or in the ocean.
Scientists have discovered DDT in the whale's fatty deposits and tissues. In addition, they found signs of another chemical, Mirex.
Among the chemicals in the whales, Mirex was just one of them, but we couldn't figure out where it came from. And I inquired, and it turned out that everybody in Lake Ontario had Mirex, fish, gulls, everything. But none of the fish and the birds found around the area here had Mirex, so there has to be a link between the two. And the only link that was possible was the eel.
On their way downstream during the fall spawning season, the American eels concentrate in the mouth of the St. Lawrence. The eels eat other fish, and the belugas feed on the eels. Whatever the eels eat, the whales eat.
Insecticides were built by human beings, so there is no organism that can break it down. And organisms cannot excrete them either. So whenever you ingest a particle of DDT, it will be in you for a number of years, sometimes tens and dozens of years.
If the belugas survive the toxic pollution, they may not be able to reproduce, or they may pass on the toxins to their offspring. The result is severe birth defects. The effects of pollution continue long after the factories stop producing toxins. By then, the damage has already been done. Without increased awareness of the pollution problem and resourceful attempts to manage solutions, the dangerous levels of pollutants in our air and water will continue to harm our environment and all life on Earth.